In Amsterdam, a renowned businessman named Jayden, after a bitter divorce, sees his personal life crumble. With a chaotic routine and a packed schedule, Jayden distances himself from everyone around him, including his teenage daughter, Leaky, and the friends who once supported him. His focus is solely on work and maintaining his prestige in the financial market, as his ex-wife took a large portion of his fortune in the separation. Within this context, Sanne, a humble housekeeper, works silently in his home. She is a reserved woman with a difficult past, an immigrant from Poland struggling to support her young son alone, balancing several jobs. Jayden sees her only as necessary help, but for Sanne, the job at Jayden's house is a chance at stability. One evening, Jayden is invited to an important dinner with foreign investors. Desperate for company and with no one else available, he makes an unexpected decision. Jayden says, "Sanne, do you know how to behave at a fancy dinner?" Sanne, frowning, "Me, I think so, sir." Jayden tells her, "Great, put on a decent dress, you're coming with me." The decision to take his housekeeper makes no sense to Sanne, but she reluctantly agrees. Thus, the dinner will mark the point where their lives begin to intersect in unexpected ways. At an elegant canal-side restaurant in Amsterdam, Jayden and Sanne arrive under curious glances. Sanne wears a modest blue dress she found at the back of her closet, unlike the luxurious clothing of the other women present. Jayden, impatient, whispers instructions to her. Jayden says, "Just smile and agree with whatever I say. This is an important night. No mistakes, understood?" Sanne nervously, "Yes, sir, I'll try." During the dinner, Jayden talks with two British investors and a representative of a German company, trying to convince them to finance a new project. However, tension rises when one of the investors, Richard, asks a specific question about the domestic services market and labor efficiency in Central Europe. Jayden, unprepared for the topic, hesitates. To everyone's surprise, Sanne intervenes. Sanne says, "In Poland, opportunities are few, but people work hard. They learn fast, especially when treated with dignity." An uncomfortable silence hangs for a moment, but Richard smiles, impressed. Richard says, "Good point, and you? What do you do besides?" Sanne, a bit hesitant, "I take care of a house and study economics at night." Jayden stares at her, shocked. He never knew Sanne was educating herself. The investors, on the other hand, become curious about her story. The conversation shifts focus. Everyone wants to hear more about Sanne and her efforts to improve her life, completely overshadowing Jayden's attempt to pitch his project. After the dinner, as they leave the restaurant, Jayden explodes. "Why did you do that? It was a business dinner, and you became the center of attention." Sanne calmly but firmly says, "Maybe because I have something to say. I'm not invisible, Mr. Jayden." That night awakens conflicting feelings in Jayden. He starts to question the arrogance with which he treats the people around him, especially Sanne. However, his career is at risk as he failed to secure the expected deal. The pressure mounts and Jayden fears losing everything. Days later, he is surprised by a call from Richard. Richard, the investor. "Jayden, your housekeeper. Sanne, right? She's brilliant. If you don't have a place for her in your business, we do. We're offering her an internship at our company in London." Jayden is speechless, feeling the situation slip out of his control. Now he must decide. Will he let Sanne pursue something better or try to keep her close, knowing she might be the key to his own redemption? Jayden spends days reflecting on the offer made to Sanne, realizing that she might be more valuable than he ever imagined. The businessman finds himself caught between two choices: help her take the internship in London and lose a dedicated person who is part of his daily life, or convince her to stay, ensuring that she grows by his side. On a rainy afternoon, Jayden finally decides to have an honest conversation. He calls her to the living room where they sit on opposite sides of the sofa. Jayden begins. "I got a call about you. They want you to go to London. It's a unique opportunity." Sanne, wide-eyed. "They really called? I didn't think it was serious." Jayden says, "Yes, it's serious. And, well, I haven't said anything yet. I wanted to hear from you first." Sanne hesitates. On the one hand, she knows the internship in London would be life-changing, but on the other, she feels emotionally indebted to Jayden for employing her during tough times. Sanne says, "I don't even know how to thank you for this chance, but what about you? How will you manage everything alone?" Jayden, with a slight smile, "I've always managed. The problem is I never knew how to recognize the people beside me." Sanne looks at the businessman, surprised by the sincerity in his words. It's the first time he shows vulnerability. The decision feels harder than ever. The next evening, Jayden is invited to a last-minute meeting with the same British investors. This time, he decides to take Sanne willingly, not just as a mere companion, but as a partner. Jayden says, "I need you there. I know you can contribute more than I realized before." Sanne says, "And after that, am I leaving?" Jayden says, "I don't know. Maybe that decision has to be yours." At the dinner, the dynamic changes completely. Jayden and Sanne work in harmony. He adopts a more open and collaborative approach, while Sanne shines by presenting innovative ideas that earn the investors' trust. Instead of overshadowing Sanne, Jayden learns to recognize and value her skills. In the middle of the conversation, Richard makes an unexpected proposal. Richard says, "Jayden, we can finance the project, but we want Sanne to lead part of the operation. She has the kind of vision we're looking for." Jayden is caught off guard, and so is Sanne. It's a decisive moment. Sanne realizes she faces a definitive choice between embracing a new life or staying in a relative comfort zone. Sanne says, "If I accept, what if I fail?" Jayden, looking at her seriously, "If you don't try, you'll never know." It's in this moment that Sanne understands her biggest obstacle isn't a lack of opportunities, but the fear of stepping out of the shadow of those who always underestimated her, including herself. After the night of the dinner, Sanne realizes she can no longer ignore the opportunity at hand. For the first time in her life, she feels her efforts are being recognized, and the fear of failure can no longer dictate her decisions. On a sunny morning, Jayden and Sanne talk in the kitchen, sipping coffee. The conversation is informal but decisive. Jayden says, "So have you decided?" Sanne, taking a deep breath, "Yes, I'll take the offer. I'm going to London." Jayden pauses, then gives a sad but sincere smile. "You'll be amazing. Never doubt that." The following days are filled with goodbyes and preparations. Sanne divides her time between caring for her son and sorting out the paperwork for her move, while Jayden quietly feels a growing emptiness in his heart. He realizes that Sanne has been a constant and transformative presence in his life, but he knows he must let her go. On the last night before her departure, Jayden arranges a simple dinner at home for Sanne and her son. During the meal, he addresses her with rare sincerity. Jayden says, "I've never been an easy man to deal with. I think you know that better than anyone. But you've shown me something I never understood before, that no matter how many times we fall, it's always possible to get back up. And you, Sanne, you didn't just get back up. You also taught me to do the same." Sanne smiles, touched, though she holds back tears. As Sanne says, "You don't have to fall alone, Jayden. You can always count on the people around you. You just have to see them." For the first time in a long time, Jayden feels grateful for something that doesn't involve money or status. He realizes that Sanne was never just a housekeeper. She was an extraordinary person, and he was lucky to have crossed her path. The day of the journey finally arrives. At Schiphol Airport, Sanne holds her son's hand tightly as Jayden accompanies them for a farewell. The moment is heavy with unspoken emotions, and both feel the tension of the separation. Jayden tries to maintain his composure, but his gaze betrays a mixture of pride and regret. Jayden says, "Are you ready for this?" Sanne, with a calm smile, "I think I've never been more ready." As they wait for the boarding call, an uncomfortable silence settles between them. Both know this is the last time they'll be together as they were before, and Jayden realizes he's about to lose more than just a housekeeper. He's losing someone who changed his life in unexpected ways. Suddenly, the boarding announcement echoes through the terminal. Jayden leans down to pick up Sanne's luggage, but hesitates. Finally, he looks at her with genuine warmth in his eyes. Jayden says, "I always thought you needed me, but now I know it was the other way around." Sanne smiles, touched by his words. Sanne says, "Maybe we needed each other, just for different reasons." She gives him a brief but tight hug. Jayden seems to wrestle with the words he wants to say, but keeps them to himself. As Sanne walks away, holding her son's hand, Jayden feels an irresistible urge. Jayden shouts, "Sanne!" She turns, surprised. Jayden says, "If you ever need me for anything, you know where to find me." Sanne smiles, and for the first time, Jayden sees her not just as a survivor, but as a woman ready to soar high and conquer the world. She boards the plane and disappears among the passengers. Jayden stands there, watching as the plane takes off, feeling a strange mix of loss and hope. He knows this goodbye marks the end of an important chapter, but also the beginning of a new one for both of them. Months pass after Sanne's departure. Jayden remains in Amsterdam, but something inside him has changed. He's no longer the arrogant and closed-off businessman he once was. Gradually, he begins to rebuild his relationship with his daughter, Lieke, having lunch with her on weekends and engaging with her school life. For the first time, he learns to make space for others around him, understanding that success isn't just about what you achieve, but who you become along the way. Meanwhile, Sanne thrives in London. She quickly stands out in her internship, impressing the team with her practical intelligence and resilience. Over time, her reputation grows, and she's offered a position leading a team in the company's financial sector, a role that few people from her background could dream of attaining. Jayden follows Sanne's progress from a distance. They exchange occasional messages, but he doesn't interfere. He knows she's where she belongs and that he did the right thing by letting her go. One day, Jayden receives a letter from Sanne. Jayden, if you had asked me a year ago what I expected from life, I would never have imagined getting this far. Thank you for giving me the chance to find my own path, and know that no matter how far I go, the most valuable lesson I learned was from you. It's always possible to start over. With gratitude, Sanne. Jayden closes the letter with a bittersweet but satisfied smile. He didn't manage to keep Sanne, but by helping her break free, he found his own redemption as well. A year later, Jayden is invited to a business conference in London. Among the many speakers, a familiar figure takes the stage. Sanne, now a recognized leader in the financial sector. Elegantly dressed and confidently poised, she shares her story of overcoming obstacles with the audience, emphasizing the importance of believing in oneself and embracing unexpected opportunities. Jayden, seated at the back of the auditorium, watches with genuine pride. No one there knows about the connection between him and Sanne, but he doesn't need public recognition. Seeing Sanne flourish is the greatest reward he could ask for. After the speech, they meet briefly. Jayden says, "You were amazing up there." Sanne, smiling, "You came?" Jayden says, "I wouldn't have missed it for anything." They walk together toward the exit, reminiscing and sharing laughter. Their relationship is no longer one of dependence, but of mutual respect and admiration. As they say goodbye once again, Sanne gently grabs Jayden's arm. Sanne says, "And you, how are you restarting your life?" Jayden, with a calm smile, "Still learning, but each day feels a little lighter." They embrace one last time, both knowing that no matter where their paths lead, their stories will always be intertwined. Jayden returns to Amsterdam with a sense of peace he never thought possible. Sanne, in turn, continues her journey, ready to achieve even more. Both now understand that true success isn't just about reaching the top. It's about having the courage to let go, learn, and begin again. This is the story of Jayden and Sanne, two different souls who met at the right moment to help each other overcome their fears and limitations. Sometimes people come into our lives not to stay, but to teach us to grow and move forward. How many times have we let the fear of failure stop us from pursuing our dreams? Like Sanne, we all have opportunities to change, but it takes courage to take the first step. And as Jayden learned, starting over can be the greatest act of humility and strength anyone can make. If you enjoyed this story, share it with someone who needs to hear that it's never too late to start again. More heartwarming stories are on the way, full of inspiration, challenges, and unexpected victories. Stay tuned so you won't miss any of them. Comment below. Have you ever faced a moment when you had to choose between letting go or holding on? We'd love to hear your story. Subscribe now to Kollobe Inspiring Stories and never miss another emotional journey. Each new story offers valuable lessons and inspiration that can transform your life. Thank you so much for being with us until the end. Your presence makes all the difference to us. Here at Kollobe Inspired Stories, we believe that every story has the power to transform, inspire, and move people. Whether it's a tale of overcoming obstacles, love, or achievement, we aim to share these lessons with as many people as possible. We'll see you in the next video. Until then.